Imagine this. You're cruising through life, feeling on top of the world. Then bam, your car breaks down. Your roof starts leaking, you lose your job. Life comes at you fast and suddenly you're in financial freefall. But what if I told you there's a way to make yourself bulletproof against these financial emergencies? Because in the game of life, it's not if shit will hit the fan, it's when. So, what exactly is an emergency fund? Simply put, it's a stash of cash set aside for life's uh-oh moments. It's not for that new iPhone or a last-minute vacation. It's your financial airbag, deployed when life crashes into your plans. But why do you need one? Let me count the ways. First, it keeps you out of debt. Without an emergency fund, that surprise expense is going straight on your credit card, where it'll grow faster than your waistline during the holidays. Second, it reduces stress. Money worries are the leading cause of stress for Americans. An emergency fund is like financial yoga. It keeps you zen when life gets crazy. Third, it gives you options. Hate your job? An emergency fund could be your ticket to freedom, giving you breathing room to find something better. Lastly, it's your personal insurance policy against job loss, medical emergencies, major repairs, you name it. In short, an emergency fund isn't just nice to have. In today's world, it's as essential as your smartphone, and arguably more useful when the chips are down. Now, for the million-dollar question. How much should you have in your emergency fund? The standard advice is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But let's break that down, because one size doesn't fit all. If you're single, a stable job, and few financial obligations, you might be okay with 3 months. But if you've got kids, a mortgage, or work in a volatile industry, you'll want to aim for 6 months or more. Here's a quick way to calculate it. Add up your essential monthly expenses. We're talking rent, mortgage, utilities, food, insurance, minimum debt payments. Multiply that by 3, 4, 5, or 6, depending on your situation. That's your target. For example, if your monthly essentials total $3,000, your emergency fund goal might be between $9,000 and $18,000. I know, that sounds like a lot, but remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is financial security. Start with a mini emergency fund of $1,000. That'll cover most minor emergencies and give you a solid foundation to build on. Remember, your emergency fund is not an investment, it's insurance. Don't worry about making it grow. Its job is to be there when you need it, not to make you rich. So where should you keep this financial bulletproof vest? You want it to be accessible, but not too accessible. Your best bet is a high-yield savings account. Separate from your checking account, so you're not tempted to dip into it, but you can still get the money quickly if needed. Remember, the goal isn't to maximize returns, to have money ready and waiting when you need it most. Alright, so now you're convinced you need an emergency fund. But how do you actually build one? Especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Here's your game plan. Start small. Remember that mini emergency fund we talked about? Make that your first goal. Even $20 a week adds up to over $1,000 in a year. Automate it. Set up automatic transfers from your checking to your emergency fund savings account. Treat it like a bill. Pay yourself first. Use windfalls wisely. Tax refunds, work bonuses, birthday money from grandma, send at least a portion straight to your emergency fund. Cut unnecessary expenses. Do you really need that subscription box or daily latte? Redirect that money to your emergency fund. Sell stuff. Have a garage sale, sell on eBay, or use Facebook Marketplace. Turn your clutter into cash for your fund. Get a side hustle. Use the gig economy to your advantage. Drive for Uber, walk dogs, freelance, and dedicate that income to your emergency fund. Bank your raises. Next time you get a raise, pretend you didn't. Keep living on your old salary and send the difference to your emergency fund. Use the envelope system. Take out cash for discretionary spending. Whatever's left at the end of the month goes into your emergency fund. Make it a challenge. Have a no-spend month, or challenge yourself to save a certain amount each week. Gamify your savings. Reassess and adjust. As your income or expenses change, revisit your emergency fund goal. You might need to save more, or you might find you can ease up. Building an emergency fund is a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself. Every dollar you save is a step towards financial security. Now, let's talk about when to actually use this financial bulletproof vest. and when to leave it alone. Use your emergency fund for job loss or significant reduction in income, major medical expenses not covered by insurance, essential home repairs like a leaky roof or broken furnace, car repairs necessary for you to get to work, unexpected travel for family emergencies. Don't use your emergency fund for planned expenses like holiday gifts or annual insurance premiums. Non-essential purchases, sorry, but a great deal on a new TV isn't an emergency. Regular bills you should be budgeting for. Lending money to friends or family. Here's a good rule of thumb. If you can anticipate it, it's not an emergency. Start a separate sinking fund for those expenses. And when you do have to use your emergency fund, don't beat yourself up about it. That's what it's there for. Just make a plan to rebuild it as soon as you can. Remember, your emergency fund is like a fire extinguisher. You hope you never have to use it, but you're really glad it's there when you need it. An emergency fund isn't just about money. It's about peace of mind. It's about taking control of your financial future instead of letting it control you. Life will always throw curveballs, but with an emergency fund, you're no longer playing defense. You're ready for whatever comes your way. So, are you ready to put on your financial bulletproof vest? Your future self is counting on you. Let's build that emergency fund and face the future with confidence.